new Conservative leader, Erin O'Toole, is making the same absurd promises about climate change as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. This week, O'Toole said he's going to match Justin Trudeau's promise to reduce Canada's greenhouse gas emissions by 30% below 2005 levels by 2030. That's Trudeau's promise to the United Nations. We're never going to hit that target. To hit that target, Canada would have to scrap the equivalent of its entire oil and gas sector or its entire transportation sector in 10 years, and we'd still come up short. This is consistent with more than 3 decades of promises by federal governments, whether they were progressive conservative, conservative or liberal, making absurd promises that we know we're not going to hit. Canada has never hit one target put by one of its federal governments in more than 30 years. Justin Trudeau, it's almost as if they think we want to be lied to about this issue, that we want to be told we're doing all these great things without ever actually having to do them. Justin Trudeau says that he can lower our emissions through his carbon tax. He can't. We've already got his carbon tax and our emissions have gone up over the last 3 years. But let's be fair. That's only a short time for a carbon tax. So let's look at British Columbia's carbon tax, which has been around for 13 years, since 2007. In the last 3 years, BC's emissions have gone up 10%, and they've gone up 5 times in the last 7 years, and that's the tax that Trudeau modeled his tax on. So folks, it's not going to happen. The way we do carbon taxing in this country, it doesn't lower emissions, it just gives the government more money. So what could we do? Well, Erin O'Toole does have some good ideas. The single most effective way to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions is to replace coal-fired electricity with nuclear power and natural gas. Why? Because nuclear power has 0 emissions and natural gas burns at half the carbon intensity of coal. So the best thing we could do is export our nuclear technology and our vast natural resources around the world. But to do that, we have to be able to get the natural resources to other countries. And that's why the single most effective thing we can do in Canada to lower emissions is to build natural gas pipelines. I'm Laurie Goldstein of the Toronto Sun. We're always anxious to hear your views, and please follow us on Facebook and our YouTube channel.